Hello and welcome to School Matters. Thanks for joining us today. Our first guest is David Pless, and he is the Executive Director of Auxiliary Services for Cleveland County Schools. Welcome and thanks for being here with us today. Not your first time here, but welcome back, I guess I should say. If you don't mind, just to get things started, tell us a little bit about your background, some of your education and experience, if you don't mind.
Okay. It has been a while since I've been on here.
It has been a while. You're past due.
Yes. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Background, grew up in a big town, Packlet, South Carolina. We've got two red lights, and we're proud of both of them. Went to Broome High School in Spartanburg, and I came here to Cleveland County, went to Gardner Webb. Graduated in 1999 and met a fine Cleveland County girl and married her, and still here. It's a great place to raise our family. Have a master's in school administration from Gardner Webb also. You asked about experience.
Yes.
I think one of the cool things that I have gotten to do is have a whole bunch of different experiences with Cleveland County Schools. Mm-hmm. Started out as a health and PE teacher, and I drove a school bus, and during that time I coached various sports. I coached middle school football, middle school baseball, junior varsity baseball, and varsity baseball. And also experience after teaching. I was an assistant principal, a principal, assistant director of transportation, director of transportation, and now executive director of auxiliary services. So I like that about my career. I've done a lot of different things, and fortunate to have a bunch of experience doing different stuff.
Right, and all those experiences give you a lot to draw from and to do your job that you do today. So if you don't mind, talk about your responsibilities. And I know a big one is the district athletic director, but just talk about what you do in your role and that particular role too.
Well, with the district athletic director, so I support our great athletic directors that we have at each high school and each middle school. Mm-hmm. And, just kind of an update on athletics and things that, one of the things that I'm really proud of, last Monday night, we got to recognize Jeff Melton from Crest High School and the athletic department there with giving them the Jim Taylor Award. And the Jim Taylor Award named after Coach Taylor, who was the first county athletic director, and he was the head football coach and athletic director at Shelby High, one of my heroes. Mm-hmm. And the Jim Taylor Award is all about the student athlete. And we factor in the GPAs for all varsity athletes, every sport in the school, and it's a competition between the four high schools. And Crest won this year, and they had a 3.478 unweighted GPA. I mean, that's outstanding that our athletes are doing that well. And not only Crest, Kings Mountain had a 3.4 also. Burns had a 3.3, and Shelby had a 3.3. So wow. Our varsity athletes really getting it done in the classroom as well as on the field, and that is a testament to the coaches and the athletic directors at each school. I mentioned Jeff Melton at Crest and Alex Linhart at Burns and Mike Wilbanks at Shelby and Kevin Cruz at Kings Mountain High. All of those folks do an outstanding job, and it's really fun to get to work with them.
Yeah, they're the athletic directors that you named. Did you start the Jim Taylor Award? Is that relatively new, or it's been around a long time?
No, it's been around.
Okay.
I believe that it was started probably 10 years ago, right after Coach Taylor retired.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And you mentioned kind of some of the things that's going on right now, maybe
during
summertime.
the summer. Yes.
Very busy time for coaches and student athletes in the summer. Pretty much all of our teams are doing some type of workouts in the summer. Mm-hmm. When I go by the schools now, you see the football team out there doing 7-on-7. You see the baseball, softball teams playing American Legion. You see volleyball and wrestling going to camp. You see the cheerleaders going to camp. And it is just a very busy time. And I would share that I talked to one student athlete the other day that 3-sport student athlete that he was doing football workouts at 8 a.m. and then he was working out with the basketball team at 11 a.m. and then he was going to be playing American Legion baseball game at 7 o'clock that night. So, I mean, just the dedication of some of our student athletes is awesome to see.
Unbelievable. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, you don't think of the summer as being a busy time, but it certainly is as they prepare. Well, one of the big highlights that's coming up to kind of kick off this athletic year and athletic season is our annual football jamboree, Cleveland County Schools Football Jamboree, which is huge and awesome. So tell us about the jamboree this year.
Okay, so really excited about the jamboree. It was Crest High School's turn to host the jamboree.
Okay.
And we're having it at Gardner-Webb University this year.
Okay.
And that's exciting to be back on their campus. And that started with a conversation between Greg Lloyd, head coach at Crest, and Jeff Melton, and Coach Chris Reiser, the football coach at Gardner-Webb. And so they had a conversation about, well, you know, what's the chances of you guys having it at Gardner-Webb? And so a month or so ago, all of the athletic directors, all the head coaches, head football coaches, and I met with the Gardner-Webb officials, and we were able to work out some details to be able to have it at Gardner-Webb, and it's exciting. I mean, it's a different venue for our kids to go and play, and it's exciting being there. And you know, our high school stadiums hold 3,000 people, you know, and Gardner-Webb's going to hold 10,000 people. And
Wow.
we expect, hopefully we'll have 10,000. I don't know they'll have that many, but we're excited about being able to play there. And,
Sure.
and also another thing I want to mention about the Jamboree is the Sharon View Federal Credit Union. They have come on as our sponsor for
Oh,
the
great.
Jamboree. And I was able to work with Cameron Kay and Britt Phillips from Sharon View Federal Credit Union, and they have really stepped up to be our partner to sponsor the Jamboree. And they say they're going to be out in full force for at the ball game, and so we're excited about that part.
How can people get tickets if they want to go to the jamboree?
Tickets, so you can go online to Cleveland County Schools and see the link there to buy tickets ahead of time.
Okay.
Or you can pay cash at
When
the
you
gate.
get there. Okay.
The lineup for that night, Burns is going to play Corvian Community Charter School. Corvian played for the 1A state championship last year.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
then the second game, Shelby is going to play South Meck. And South Meck is the third largest school in North Carolina. And then the third game, Kings Mountain is going to play Monroe. Monroe won the 3A state championship last year. And then in the nightcap, Crest is going to play Myers Park. And Myers Park is the largest school in North Carolina.
Okay.
And Myers Park has some kids on their team that are going to Notre Dame, Miami. So some really
Yes.
good competition that we're going to have. I was talking to somebody today, you know, if you come for the first game and stay to the end, you're going to get 4 hours of entertainment for $10. Where else can you go and get
exactly
4 hours
right.
worth of $10? And, you know, I mentioned these schools coming in from Charlotte and Union County, and they're good, but, you know, I don't think they're just going to come here and whip up on
Right. That's right.
our kids in Cleveland County.
That's
So
right.
that'll be exciting. So we're excited about having that.
It sounds like it. Well, what else would you like to share about athletics in Cleveland County schools?
So I'm glad you asked that. So over the last couple weeks, I've met with all of the coaches in Cleveland County at various schools, and some of the conversations that we had were just talking about how special Cleveland County sports is. And it's not like this everywhere. And we're fortunate to be able to coach here and be a part in this community that cares about high school athletics. You could be coaching somewhere where it really doesn't matter, but that's not here. Everyone cares about Cleveland County sports. And we talked about all of the people that have come before us that have laid the foundation of making Cleveland County sports special. All of the coaches that did things the right way and cared about the student athlete. They, cared about academics, and they won a whole bunch of ball games too. And I think about like at Burns with Ron Green and Jim Rourke and Tom Wright, and I think about at Crest with legends like John Taylor and Sid Bryson and Mark Barnes and Ed Peeler, and at Kings Mountain, Denny Hicks and John Gamble and Larry Sipe and Diana Bridges and Suzanne Grayson. And at Shelby, of course, we talked about Coach Taylor, who is a legend, and Chris Norman and Ken Napier and David Steves, all of those people that laid the foundation for Cleveland County sports. That's special, and we want to honor them and keep moving forward, and it, be as good as it can possibly be here for our student athletes.
Those are some Hall of Fame names, right?
They are.
Cleveland County Hall of Fame.
Yes, they are.
I like it.
Outstanding people.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all that you do for Cleveland County School Athletics. You do a great job, and appreciate you being here to share about the Jamboree and athletics, and just appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more right after this.
Chef Paul Prudhomme once said, "You don't need a silver fork to eat good food." Well, on Cleveland County Kitchen, we don't have a silver fork, but we sure do serve up lots of good food. Hi, I'm Deborah Blanton. I hope you'll join me for the next Cleveland County Kitchen. Each month, we offer a complete farm-to-table experience. We visit local growers, we learn about nutrition, and wrap things up with wonderful meals prepared by our guest chefs. It's a lot of fun. I hope you'll join me for the next Cleveland County Kitchen.
Probably not. I have to study for my exams next week, and my dad would kill me.
I can't make it. I've got a big game tomorrow night. I want to make sure I'm in good shape.
No, I'm good. I don't want to get in trouble. My parents would kill me.
Nah, I gotta fill out scholarship applications.
Everyone has at least one good reason to stay away from drugs and alcohol. Find your reason today and get back to enjoying life.
Join us for our 23rd season of Armchair Quarterback on C19 TV. Each week we look at the 4A Burns Bulldogs, the 5A Crest Chargers, the 6A Kings Mountain Mountaineers, and the 3A Shelby Golden Lion. We will also discuss ACC, SEC, and Gardner-Webb football, along with the Carolina Panthers. Armchair Quarterback premieres August 18th on C19 TV and online at c19.tv.
Welcome back to School Matters. Our next guests today are Laura Beaver and Jill Nolan with Silver Ink Publishing, and they're both very involved in the Cleveland County Schools Back to School Bash.
Yes.
This is the third year for that event. But before we talk about the bash, tell us a little bit about yourselves, if you will.
Yeah, well, we are both teachers, or have been teachers in Cleveland County Schools. We both have just recently retired. We've taught things from being regular classroom teachers to interventionists, as well as some work at the district office. And we've also had a business for about 20 years.
For about 20 years, we've had Silver Ink Publishing, and it all came about because we wanted to just make sure that families were empowered with strategies that we use at home. You know, we might keep it as a secret, but share those with families. And so we traveled across the United States for years and have many products that we share with schools. And unfortunately, anything Laura Beaver does, she has to pull me into it, whether I'm part of it or not. So I'm just her sidekick on this. She's really the planner and the star of the Back to School Bash.
Well, and you didn't say this, but I know that it all got started actually when you were teachers together,
Yes.
and you wrote a children's book, I believe.
Yeah, so our first book was Into the Tub. It's still being used today. Many schools across, as she said, across the United States order that and use it for kindergarten readiness or for preschool students and their families, and it really helps to support them with those literacy strategies that, that teachers use every day with their children, so that parents can learn how to use those same strategies at home as well to help those children become ready for school and ready for becoming readers. So that kind of led into my connection then with the Back to School Book Bash that started here in Cleveland County about 3 years ago.
Yes, well, and you were also a literacy specialist, I believe, for
at
the
that time.
school system as well.
Right,
So
yeah.
it all just kind of worked and
Yeah,
made
it
sense and
did.
came together very nicely. So let's talk about the Back to School Bash.
Yeah.
Talk about, we said it's the third year for the event.
Yeah,
let's
so
talk
this
about
really came about when Shelby Breakfast Rotary, which is a local organization that's designed to help with supporting families across Cleveland County, and they always look for some type of mission or something that they want to really focus on. And a couple years ago, it became a priority in Cleveland County Schools that we made sure our community members, as well as our families, were aware that literacy was a priority for our district. And so I worked along with Dr. Fisher at the time, and we came up with a initiative called PALS. It's Partners Aligned for Literacy Success. And with that, we started reaching out to community members, asking them to either contribute financially or to contribute of their time to help us support literacy within our district. And so Shelby Breakfast Rotary got on board with that, and they said that they wanted to sponsor some type of beginning year back to school kickoff and make sure that during that event that they gave families books so they could improve the literacy resources that they have in their home. And so that's really how it all came about. And so we started brainstorming with them about how could we make sure this event would draw in families from all walks of life. And one of the things that we thought of was having some type of little fun activity on the front lawn of our district office. And so what was just going to be a book giveaway or some type of school supply giveaway really turned into a family evening event. And so for over the past couple years, and including this year, we're going to have things like bouncy houses, the dunking booth, face painting, free food, an actual meal for the families that they can either eat there or take with them. There's going to be a lot of different what we call vendors, even though they're not there to sell anything. It's community members, businesses and organizations that are going to be giving out resources or flyers about their what they have to offer people within our community. And then just other school leaders and school staff will be there just to kind of get everybody really excited about the upcoming school year.
So is your role really to coordinate the event? and
That's
kind of plan it?
probably, I would say, is the main thing has
Well,
been my role.
coordinate might be a soft word. Laura is a control, I won't say freak, but that is her forte. So she
That's what
makes
she's
sure
good at.
every I's dotted, every T is crossed so that it will go off without a hitch. So yeah, we'll call her the coordinator.
So we do organize, but we also help, we are the people out there early in the morning of the event helping to set up tables and running back and forth and loading up coolers with ice and water and trying to make sure everything's in place. So it's a very long day for those that are volunteering to help, such as ourselves, but it's also, it has a purpose behind it, and so, we're glad that we can do what we can to make sure that we support Shelby Breakfast Rotary with the funding that they have been granted. Some of this is money that they've raised, but also some grants that they've received, and they're very passionate about making sure that they touch as many lives as possible and that they're able to give out as many bags of books as possible to children from ages pre-K through grade 8. Yeah.
And let's talk about the books. They are age specific.
They're age-specific
to the
books,
child that
exactly.
receives them.
Right.
But
So-
talk about where the books come from, how many we end up giving away.
So we order a book through a distributor, and they help us with the funding, help us get it at a really good price. And so with that, we're able to make sure that each child receives four fiction titles and one nonfiction title. And so it'll come in a little drawstring bag, and then of course while they're there, they can use that bag to go around to the different tables and get additional school supplies that may be given as giveaways. That's what we encourage this year, is that the vendors that had a table. Instead of paying to have a table, we just said, why don't you, bring some school supplies as a giveaway. We would rather that money or that be spent that way.
Yeah.
So they'll either receive some type of school supply or some type of little trinket or treat that, leads the family to go back and remember that this is an organization I could reach back out to if I'm in need of their services. And so it's really worked out well. Another thing that we try to make sure that we do is not only just give the families the books, but we also work to try to make sure that they have some tips on what they can do with those books. And so that's kind of how us as Silver Ink, and even when I was working at the district office prior to that, we just wanted to make sure that they didn't just receive the books, that they received some type of strategies that they could incorporate with those books when they're reading them at home. Right. That's really what having a partnership with, supporting our students at PALS, Partners Aligned for Literacy Success. It's about getting books in the homes, but it's also about empowering those families with strategies that they can use every day in any way.
Yeah, and that's our whole mission, and that's what we love to share with school districts, is that, you take advantage of every opportunity that you have to interact with a family. And so we really try to make sure that you do realistic strategies, things that they can really incorporate, because if a parent is going to take the time to sit down and read with their child, or listen to their child read, or even talk after their child has read, like, there are so many powerful things that they can do in such a short amount of time. And because there's the thing called the summer slide, which is real, really research shows that if they don't read it all, those couple months between the end of school and the beginning of the school, they lose about 2 months worth of how far they have come. And it's kind of like, it's not like we used to say years ago, like, oh, they have to read 30 minutes every day in the summer. Well, that's not what the research is showing. And it's kind of makes sense, because if you think about, well, I have this motorcycle that is an old grandma motorcycle, and but it's got all these bells and whistles. Well, I hadn't ridden that thing in months and months, because it was cold outside. And so I get on it and I'm like, I don't even know how to start it, because you have to cut the kill switch back on, you have to turn this on, you have to wait till this light comes on, you have to figure out how to take the parking brake off, you have to do all these things. And I hadn't done it in so long. Actually, I should, since it's about literacy, I should say I read in my manual, but really I YouTube figured it out. But once I did it, then when I got back on it like a week or two later, oh, I remember just like that. And that's kind of what happens with the kids. If they go weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks without reading, then their brain forgets a lot of stuff. But if they spend small amounts of time throughout the summer reading, and what we're sharing with them is what we call anytime, anywhere, because really literacy can happen anytime, anywhere. There's a section on the strategy that we share with them that talks about how when your child is reading a book, this is a way to work with comprehension. But in reality, some of my favorite parts are like when they're out and about. So it talks to a parent like when you are riding down the road and your kid sees a billboard, you can quickly ask your child, well, what are they trying to do there? Are they giving you information, or are they persuading you to buy something? And that develops critical thinking skills, and it's between the walls of your car. You don't have to always be in the pages of a book. And another strategy that we share with them is even when they're watching television. I mean, a television show is just like a mini book that goes really fast. So they can ask questions about the TV show to their child. Even that will help those little neurons to fire. So there's just so much, if you take advantage of every time that they have an interaction with the parent, like what's going to happen soon, it just makes literacy continue to grow.
That's such a great point. I mean, it literally is everywhere. It's not just reading something, it's everywhere.
Not that we don't want them to read all those
No,
books.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
It doesn't replace it, for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Well, you spoke about the Breakfast Rotary Club and their huge sponsorship and partnership to pull this event off. What about the others that it takes to pull this
Okay, well,
off?
it takes a lot of staff members. I was going through our list and counting all the different people I had emailed about this event or have assigned a task to, and there's about 80 to 90 Cleveland County School employees
Wow.
or students who are going to be helping make sure this event is successful. So they're either going to be, monitoring children at the bouncy houses, or they're going to be running water to all the different people who are outside because it's going to be really hot. They're going to be the MC, or they're going to actually just be playing with kids and trying to have some interactions with the families there. And so, we have anywhere from our superintendents that are going to be out there working, all the way to the cheerleaders that are going to be performing, or the baseball players in the dunking booth. Those are some great things that we're excited about for all the people who have just willingly said yes, that they'd be able to help. And so we need that many people, because in the past 2 years we've had over 1,000 people attend this event, which is a large number for just a short time span, because it's from 5 to 7. A short time span that you're trying to get all those people fed and through the different tables that they want to visit, and all the little activities that the kids get to enjoy for free, which is the great thing. All of this is for free. We'll have the fire department there with their fire truck. The police department will be there with their SWAT vehicle. The sheriff department will have some type of Bearcat, or I know I'm saying that totally wrong, but they'll have some type of vehicle there for the children. The mobile library, the new mobile library that Cleveland County Library has, will be there. So there's just so many wonderful things that are going to be exciting for the kids to get to experience and interact with. And we're very thankful too that our local leaders in our community have agreed to even block off the street for us, which is a big deal that the street gets blocked off.
That is a big deal.
And so we've had a lot of people that have rooted for us to make sure that happens, and so we're very thankful for their work. But as far as the other tables or vendors that are set up, we're going to have organizations, such as the YMCA and Partnership for Children, things that really target families or supports for children. Even things like Hope Hospital, Animal Hospital will be there, because we all have our furry friends that we want to take care of. Some of our schools will have tables. Atrium will be there. The health department will be there with their dental as well as their community health services. Boys and Girls Club, the Girl Scouts, different organizations like that will be there. So we just are excited to see all the other organizations, even I guess you'd say in the entertainment industry as well, like with Don Gibson and Earl Scruggs Centers and Theater, they'll be there. So it's just going to be a great time to be together. We'll have a table set up that Cleveland County School will manage for the parent portal, because we want to make sure parents are also informed on how to access the parent portal, so they can go in and check out how their children are doing in their classes and stay abreast of that academic information that they need to know about.
Well, we thank you both for your passion for children, for education, and for literacy, and for all that you do to make this event happen. And for being here today. Thank you. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
All right. Thank you for joining us for this edition of School Matters.
School Matters is a production of the Communications Department of the Cleveland County School System. For additional information, visit our website at www.clevelandcountyschools.org.
Hi, I'm Bruce Mack, Vice President of Academic Affairs at Cleveland Community College, and you're watching C19 TV, a broadcast service of Cleveland Community College. Thank you.